to Dragonfell Season 3. A brand new season with a whole new world of possibilities, and I truly can't wait. It has been my absolute pleasure and honour to be a member of Dragonfell these last few seasons, and it gives me even more of an honour every single day to be an admin of Dragonfell. So many creators have come together to create so many beautiful things over the years, whether it is in Dragonfell, in our last live events, in our most recent Guild Rush event, and in their own personal worlds. We have such an eclectic group of builders who all create and strive to make the most beautiful things possible. And I can't be lacking. I've got to be one of those. And I have so many incredible ideas for this new season. And if you can't tell from my new skin, my new little addition, we strained it away from my normal Monkey King robes and got ourselves a nice little cherry blossom kimono. And that is because I want to embrace all things, and I mean all things, of Asian architecture. I want it to be fantastic in fantasy ways, in old ways and new ways. I just want to create the biggest and best thing I've ever done. I've created so many big and beautiful things in the past, and I want this to be no exception. And if anything, I want it to be better. So my hope is that is what I can do. But before we get onto that, I want to truly embrace the new server, the new feel, the new smell, and go do a bit of exploring. Because I actually have received a little bit of an invite to go start in a way that's not quite befitting of my theme, but it's a lovely opportunity to see some people. So let's go do some exploring and head over to the Scallywags Island. Now, I've already spent a little bit of time here, and I've even got myself a little houseboat, because whilst I'm joining the Scallywags as a member, I will also be travelling to my own distant lands, which you see over there. It's a good 3,000 blocks away. There's plenty of travelling to do here. But if we head on inside, this is truly, beautiful example of new generation, and just generations of land of the cherry blossom. Plenty of work has been done here, and even if you look in the chat, you can see armor stands being decorated to the highest level. Whilst we've been here, we have done a little bit of mining. We met up with Stu, and we met up with Zelda, and we spoke to them, and we had a little bit of a catch up. They formally introduced me to the Scallywags. It is such an honour to be part of it. It's so nice that they accepted me in, and I can't wait to see what big and beautiful things come to this area, because it is truly spectacular. If you take another look and we actually come out, it is spectacular, and I mean truly spectacular. This opening just screams potential, and I can't wait to see what else comes up with it, and I need to come up with some of my own ideas. So if you have any ideas for new pirate-based themes or lush-based themes, please do drop them in the comments and let me know. What I want to really emphasise is that whilst this is my first episode, we've got ourselves a little bit geared. We've got some gear. I've been running around with a salmon head on constantly. It's been such a magnificent experience, and you haven't missed too much in the time that between showing you what I had done and what I have done. In fact, what you can quickly see is here is a very, very quick time lapse of about an hour, maybe two's mining, and it doesn't show everything, but we got ourselves a nice little stockpile of iron, which you can see in the chest over there. We have a bit of a communal storage, which is lovely, because this will be, whilst it is a pirate cove, it's a safe haven for all of those venturing towards spawn, and I will even be leaving a version of my boat for anybody who likes to travel around spawn and get to know the very best of what this has to offer. But what I would like to do next, and what I would very much like to do, is actually finally make it to our area, which if I pull up the map, you can see it's not currently loaded in because we're about to head outside. Let's refresh out, let's head back to our boat. If I pull up the map, we have done a lot of exploring on this map and in some very, very strange directions to help load so many things across the server. But over here, it's Casa Prof. This will be the beacon for my area. This will be where everything happens. I have so many incredible plans, including but not limited to covering the entire area of cherry blossoms, really utilising the villages to make things like iron farms, and different farms that we find necessary. I want to build lots and lots of gates and create an entire Japanese-based harbour based on traditional Japanese fishing, and really emphasise it, and maybe to even turn my hand at art stands for a new season. But what I want to do to close out this episode is I really want to make it there, make it our home. And whilst I head over there, please do enjoy a cinematic of Skellywag's Cove. We made it to our brand new area. If we pull up the map, we can see it. We are inhabiting Casa Prof. This entire area is solely for me and everything that I would like to do in it. And I'd like to talk very briefly before we wrap up today's episode about what my plans for it are. These plans are tentative and they're subject to change depending on what I decide to actually do, but the theme must remain the same nevertheless. Firstly, I would like to make use of both of these villages. We have been very lucky to get 2 villages. You don't get that too often. But I have 2 villages within my area and I would like to make absolute use and create a complete, and I mean complete, farming station over in this area where we'll be using villages to do all the farming. And this village over here will house our iron farm. Now, I'm not going to be tying up anything like raid farms or any of the sort. I'm going to leave that to the people who are much smarter with farms than I am. But I would like to incorporate many farms. I actually think there's other things that might be an exposed lush cave. I really don't know. It could be something else. But there's lots and lots to explore to do in this area. And next episode, you will see me starting to make progress because my plan is to completely deforest the entire area. Now, not to worry. This will be sustainable as I will be replanting cherry blossoms absolutely everywhere. There is some mass scale terraforming to do because this is a much larger area than people realise. This is, I think it's like 500 blocks wide and like 1500 blocks tall. And there is so many things that I would like to get done, and I'm still thinking that in these upper areas are going to be housing the upper tier of the economic system that we'll be building, and then the rest of this area will have the giant capital, which will be housed right around my waypoint here, and then branching off will be the villages and the markets, all displaying various forms of affluent wealth or lack of affluent wealth, which I will represent in block palettes and build designs. I'm really looking forward to doing it. But there's so many things I would love and I mean love to get done. But to wrap up this episode, I'm not going to do the one thing I do know how to do best, and that was the cinematic. I would love to highlight just the vastness of this area with a brief cinematic. So, from that point, my name is Professor Monkey with a salmon head. We'll take it. I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me to my first episode. I know that there's actually been quite a lot of talking in this episode, which is somewhat unlike me. I like to really focus on the beauty of my craft rather than my own voice. But I want to really try hone it in and try and present more of myself to you all as a captive audience, as well as the cinematic progress. I really want to make this season the best season that I've ever had in my craft ever. Ever since I started playing in Alpha, I really want to up my game. And not just in building and in cinematics, I want to turn my hand to farms, industrialization, and really be a focal point on the server and become a shogun. I want to work my way up and become the shogun of this entire area and truly live up to my name as the king of the monkeys. With that, thank you all so much for watching. My name has been Professor Monkey, and I cannot wait to catch you in the next one. Peace out.